All right, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Q Dog. You can call me Q for short. Uh, I got a video for today. I asked my TikTok page to give me some hot takes for Dragon Ball. If you guys do not follow me on TikTok, Fresh Prince Q right here. Follow your boy on TikTok. We need to start migrating over to YouTube. So I asked him right here to give me some hot takes. We're gonna go over some of these. Got 367 comments. It's gonna be a long video. I might not keep it so long. I don't want this to go on forever, but yeah, this might be split up into parts, but we'll see. But let's start with the first comment. We'll make our way down. We got our first one by the perfect being. Cell should have been a good guy. Honestly, Cell is one of my favorite villains, and I think he is perfect as a villain. No pun intended. But I don't think Cell should have been a good guy. I don't see him being a good guy. I don't think that impacts the series in any way, shape, or form. Him being a bad guy is honestly, he's like one of the classy bad guys. I think of Cell and Rose as kind of like, you know, they're not too brutal like Frieza, but they're classy. I think Cell as a villain, I think he's pretty good as a villain rather than a good guy. Also, I think this guy is a Cell stan, so, you know, anyways. Goku over Saitama. Yeah, I'm starting this. Goku outscales so badly. Not a single Saitama fan, Goku hater can give me one feat that puts bro anywhere near Goku. I watched One Punch Man. I don't really like it. One Punch Man is one of those. Obviously, Saitama is a gag character. He is I win just because I say I win, or one punch equals I win. Goku isn't like that. I like Goku as a character more. In terms of outscaling, I don't know. I don't know how that fight would go if they were to fight. I would vouch for Goku more than I would vouch for Saitama, but the fact that Saitama is a gag character, it does give him slightly an edge over Goku. But then again, it's whoever's writing the series, who's ever writing the fight, if they were to fight. But I think Goku would come out on top. I don't know if he outscales him so badly, but I think Goku would come out on top. Perfect. Bro, we got two people vouching for Cell already. I should have won. I don't think so. I love Cell, but I don't think he should have won. Meme, Z Broly would have been cooked if anyone had Super Saiyan Grade 2. I assume you mean Super Saiyan 2 by Grade 2. I think this is not a hot take. I think this is pretty obvious. Goku beat him in Super Saiyan. Obviously, he got all the power from Gohan and Piccolo and Trunks and Vegeta, which, if we really want to be honest, all of that power probably put him on the level of a Super Saiyan 2 or more, right? And that's probably why he was able to beat Broly. Also, it's just, you know, with the fact that it's Goku, I wouldn't be surprised, but Super Saiyan 2 definitely would have been enough to beat Broly, in my opinion. Or, like, if Super Saiyan 2 Gohan was to go against Broly, he'd probably beat him. So, yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. Dragon Ball Legends is the best Dragon Ball mobile game. Oh, brother. I am going to heavily disagree with this. I think Dokkan is a way better game than Legends. I don't want to say way better, but I think it is a better game than Legends. And the reason I say that is because Dragon Ball Legends is way too PvP reliant and way too competitive for the average player. I feel like Dokkan is something that I can just sit down, I can chill, I can watch YouTube, I can play the game, I could eat, and I could play Dokkan, right? Dokkan is chill. And the community, I feel like the community can be toxic. That's every game. Every game has a toxic side of the community. But for the most part, Dokkan, what is there really to be super toxic about, right? I think in terms of the overall aspect of the game, Dokkan is way more chill. You can get somebody in the Dokkan faster than you can get them in the Legends, because Legends is just PvP. That's it. You hop on the Legends, you're not gonna play PvE. You're not excited to play PvE. You're not excited to play story mode. You're not excited to hop into any hard event versus any AI. You're gonna go and play PvP, ranked PvP, where you're gonna fight a bunch of tryhards, and that's just how PvP goes. Not to mention you have to summon 4 characters to use in PvP. So if the best character in the game, let's say Ultra Frieza just came out, best character in the game is Ultra Frieza, you don't have Ultra Frieza, everybody is running around the meta with Ultra Frieza, plus Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, plus Super 17. If you don't have any of those 3 characters, it's going to be a lot harder to compete. Not saying you can't compete, but it's going to be a lot harder to compete when you're running into the best units in the game every single match. That's what I think puts Legends below Dokkan. Now, to be fair, they are 2 separate games, but I think if you want to take it into reality, Dokkan has grew a lot more than Legends has in the span of the years that they have been out. Legends is coming up on their 6-year anniversary, and they are just about to hit 100 million users. Dokkan was way past that before their 6-year anniversary. So I think Dokkan takes the cake as the best Dragon Ball mobile game. Legends is not a bad game by any means, but I think Dokkan is a lot better, especially for casual people. Mason, mine is Gogeta versus Broly over Goku versus Jiren. I think this boils down to preference. For me, I would agree. I think Gogeta versus Broly is a better fight for me. But that I only say that because Gogeta versus Broly was a movie, right? So, I mean, watching Gogeta versus Broly in the movie theaters was just so hype. And we haven't seen Gogeta in such a long time. The last time we saw Gogeta was Fusion Reborn, before this movie came out. So seeing Gogeta pop up and then seeing Broly pop up too was like crazy, man. Like, it was like the most randomest combo ever, but it worked. And I think the fight was crazy. Now the fight did last it was probably like a 10-minute fight in total. But I think that 10 minutes of those guys fighting was a little bit better than Goku versus Jiren. But then again, this comes down to preference. I don't think Goku versus Jiren was a bad fight by any means. It was a pretty good fight. A Cup says, Uncle Grandpa can beat Goku, negative difficulty. Oh, man. People are going to hate me for this, probably. But I think this is true. I think this is true. And the only reason I say this is because Toon Force is one hell of a thing, man. Uncle Grandpa, if you watch Uncle Grandpa, you know what he can do, bro. His Toon Force is something that is it can't be matched, man. It really can't in some instances. I feel like Uncle Grandpa would just be... He's almost on the level of a gag character if he fights somebody like Goku. I don't think Goku would be able to beat him. Now, would Uncle Grandpa be able to beat Goku? I mean, I don't think it would be negative difficulty, but I think he probably can beat Goku. I don't think he'd be able to kill Goku or anything, but I think he'd be able to put Goku down. I think this fight could go either way, but I think Uncle Grandpa has he has a shot to beat Goku. It is definitely a possibility. It's crazy, but it is. I think it's true. Hero of Food. He says Tien Shinhan has clutched more than Krillin, and Goku is a good written character even throughout Super. This is probably 2-1, so I'll do the first one. Tien Shinhan has clutched more than Krillin. I agree. I don't think this is a hot take. Tien, Krillin had his little moments in Dragon Ball, right? But I think, if we're talking about what Krillin and Tien have done, let's talk about the Saiyan saga, right? Tien, right? Chaozu goes down, Tien shows up, he's ready to throw hands with anybody, right? Krillin, he didn't do anything like that. Namek saga, Krillin he's pretty good in the Namek saga. He was there obviously to help protect Gohan. He was there to teach Gohan. Krillin didn't really clutch up in the Namek saga. I don't think he had his one moment versus Frieza when he cut off his tail. I mean, that's cool, but I don't think it was more of a clutch. Then we go to the Android / Cell saga. Tien definitely did clutch up right there. If we're being honest, if it wasn't for Krillin, the whole entire rest of the Cell saga after Second Form Cell wouldn't have happened. Vegeta would have took out Second Form Cell easily. But Tien was able to stop Cell from absorbing Android 18 by telling her to get away and holding Cell down. That was clutch. If we're thinking about clutch, if everything worked out in our favor, Tien clutching up right there would have saved the whole entire arc if it wasn't for Krillin, who had to destroy the remote to blow up Android 18, therefore giving Cell the chance to absorb 18. So I think Tien has clutched up. Then we get to the Buu saga. Tien shows up to help fight Buu for a little bit, hold him off, I guess, or whatever, until Gohan and Goku show up. And at the time, Krillin was dead. So, yeah, I think Tien has clutched up more than Krillin. Goku's a good written character throughout Super, I agree. Also, not everything is about Goku throughout Super. I mean, I think Super gave a lot more characters time to shine. So I mean, Goku did do his thing, but I mean, if we talk about the Goku Black arc, right? Goku played a good role in that, but it was about Trunks and Vegeta at that. But yeah, I think Goku is a good written character. That's not a hot take, I don't think. Cooler over Frieza. Now this one I think is a hot take. I like Cooler a bit more, and it's crazy because Cooler only had 2 movies to shine. I like Cooler specifically in the first Cooler movie when he fought Goku. But right now, I think Frieza is probably a better character just because he's had more screen time. Golden Frieza, Black Frieza. I mean, Frieza is probably definitely a better character right now, but I would say for me, I like Cooler better. But Frieza is probably the better character right now, just because he's had the more screen time, more writing time, and yeah, that's probably how that goes. But there's probably some people that would vouch for Cooler, so yeah, I don't know. Goku solos most of fiction, not all of it. So solos most of fiction. I'm gonna say Goku can beat about 60% of fictional characters. I think there's a good amount of characters that can beat Goku. The thing about being a Dragon Ball fan is that you have to realize that Goku is not the strongest. There are some people that actually genuinely think that Goku can solo everybody, and it's just not the case. Um, I think he can beat most of fiction. I agree with this. But I'm gonna cap the most at about 60%. Because I mean, there's a lot of comic book characters that can beat Goku. He's not even the strongest in his own universe. So I think 60% is a good number to cap it off at. All right. Vegeta is stronger than Goku after his training on Yardrat. Also, he needs to deal the finishing blow to Frieza. Stronger than Goku after his training on Yardrat. I think I would agree. If I'm not mistaken, I did read the Moral arc, and I remember that was when Vegeta was training on Yardrat, before he showed up to fight Moro. I do think this is the case. I think he is stronger than Goku after his training arc on Yardrat. But that, I feel like that was only for that specific fight. I think Goku and Vegeta, I don't think really, up until now, I think they're kind of just neck and neck. I don't really know who's stronger than who. Vegeta is he's my favorite character in Dragon Ball. Obviously, I want to say he's stronger than Goku, but I think Goku and Vegeta they're probably just neck and neck. Also, he needs to deal the finishing blow to Frieza. This right here is a must. For somebody who talks so highly about the Saiyan race, and you're the Saiyan Prince, everything you do is for the Saiyans, this and that about the Saiyans. The guy who extinguished your race, you need to be the one to finish it off. As one of the last remaining Saiyans, your dad was the king of Saiyans, you're the prince of Saiyans. You need to finish Frieza off. It does not need to be Goku. Goku should not be the one finishing off Frieza, which is also why in the Resurrection of F movie, when Vegeta didn't get a chance to finish off Frieza and Goku came out of nowhere and finished off Frieza, that was terrible. I was terrible writing. It was so horrible. I don't know why they did that. I think when it comes down to putting Frieza down once and for all, Vegeta needs to be the one to do that. Now, will this ever happen? Probably not. I feel like if the manga were to continue, maybe we can get a one-on-one for Vegeta and Frieza. But I feel like Frieza is never going to go away. Because they probably won't ever just get rid of Frieza in the series. He's too popular of a character. So I agree with this, but it probably won't happen, at least for a long time. TD says Fusion Reborn was the best DBZ movie. Okay. Fusion Reborn, the best DBZ movie. That was the introduction to Super Gogeta and Janemba. I would put it top 3. Would I say it's the best DBZ movie? I feel like the Broly movie is probably... I don't know, actually. He might be right. Fusion Reborn is the best DBZ movie. Because, I mean, I'm not putting Android 13 over this movie. I'm not putting the BoJack movie over this. Let's see, the Cooler movie, both the Cooler movies, I'm not putting above Fusion Reborn. Broly, the Second Coming, the second Broly movie, I think has an argument to be one of the best. The Family Kamehameha is probably one of the best moments in the whole movie series. Wrath of the Dragon with Dragon Fist and Hirudegan. I don't think that's the best movie, but it's probably up there. I think between this movie and Broly the Second Coming, I think those have arguments to be the best DBZ movie. So yeah, I think that's true. It could be true. It depends. GT Goku outscales current Super Goku, including manga. I'm gonna have to say no. I think this is not true. And I only simply say this because GT is simply like its own universe. GT, first of all, GT is not canon. So if we look at where Dragon Ball Z ended going into GT, right? You have Pan at the end of Dragon Ball Z. She's grown up in Dragon Ball GT, right? She's grown up. You have Bola, who's grown up. Everybody's old. Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, all those guys are old. But when GT was made, Super was not even in the conversation. So with that being the case, GT is in its own separate universe, right? The amount of power scaling that happens in GT is probably not even close to what Dragon Ball Super is. And it's mainly because, I mean, do we really think somebody like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is competing with Fusion Zamasu? I would have to say no. Or like, you know, Omega Shenron, Super 17, we're saying those guys are stronger than Golden Frieza and Super Saiyan Rose and Jiren and all those guys? I would say no. Super Saiyan 4 compared to like Super Saiyan God and Ultra Instinct and Super Saiyan Blue, I don't think Super Saiyan 4 is even close. Like I said, GT is not canon. It's in its own universe. I think when they were making the power scaling for GT, they weren't even thinking about Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, it takes place after Super. Technically, if GT was canon, it would take place after Dragon Ball Super because Pan is growing up. Bola is growing up, right? But the power scaling is completely different. I think Super Goku is way over GT Goku. RIP Akira Toriyama, of course. Current Goku and Super Saiyan 2 can best Jiren from the turn. I'm gonna give that a big fat no. I don't think there's much explaining to say. Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Jiren, full power Jiren is too much, man. I mean, Goku has gotten a lot stronger. I'm not gonna deny that, but I think to downplay Jiren to the point where you think Super Saiyan 2 is stronger than full power Jiren is crazy. I don't think that's the case. And to be fair, I mean, Jiren was whooping everybody in the Tournament of Power, right? And there's plenty of characters that now would probably be able to stand up to Jiren in their full power form, like such as Beast. Beast would probably beat Jiren from the Tournament of Power. But Super Saiyan 2 Goku, I no. If you want to talk about the current version of Goku versus Jiren from the Tournament of Power, I give you probably Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken at best could probably beat full power Jiren. But Super Saiyan 2, that is heavily downplaying Jiren. Heavily. I would disagree. Mr. Popo clears all anime. No. I do think Popo is a pretty good master, student, whatever you want to call him. He's a pretty good teacher, but I doubt he would clear all of anime. I'm sure this is a joke, but you know. Goten should have been stronger than Trunks. Absolutely not. The reason I say that is because we've already got Gohan, right? Goku has Gohan to be the strong son. Gohan is out there doing all the shit, you know. Trunks deserves some spotlight. I feel like Vegeta's son, Trunks is Vegeta's only son. I feel like Trunks should have somewhat of an advantage over Goten. I also think it makes good story, right? Because Vegeta is proud to say that Trunks is stronger than Goten. And there's also been some instances where Trunks has been stronger than Gohan in the series. And I think that is, and I'm talking about future Trunks, obviously, because in the current storyline, Trunks is younger than Gohan. But future Trunks has been stronger than Gohan up until Beast Gohan was a thing, I think. But yeah, I think Trunks is older than Goten, first of all, so I think it makes sense for Trunks to be stronger than Goten. So yeah, no, I disagree. Kojo says Moro arc is the best DBS arc and a top 3 DB arc of all time. Top 3 DB arcs of all time. So he's saying Moro arc is the best Dragon Ball Super arc. I think I would disagree. I think I like the Moro arc. I do. I mean the Susanoo from Goku is great and all, but let's take a step back and let's think about how at this point in the Moro arc, the strongest form that Goku has is Ultra Instinct. Meaning we've already seen Ultra Instinct. I think the introduction of Ultra Instinct and the Tournament of Power triumphs the Moro arc, right? Now, obviously, Goku's not going to get a new transformation or a new technique every single arc, and I think that's a good thing. But I think the introduction to Ultra Instinct and the Goku versus Jiren fight, I think that whole TOP arc where you had so many characters, right? Think about it. The TOP arc had so many characters that got spotlights in so many different aspects, so many different transformations, all that stuff. It was so cool to watch, right? If you didn't like one character, you would like the other character. If you didn't like this character, you would like the other character. So I think the TOP arc is probably a better arc than the Moro arc, in my opinion. And it is probably one of the best Dragon Ball Super arcs. That or the Future Saga. Top 3 DB arcs of all time? I don't know. And I say this because people would probably think of this more from a nostalgia standpoint. They'll probably think the Namek Saga is better, or the Cell Saga is better, or the Buu Saga is better. I don't know. I don't know how to think about this. Top 3 Dragon Ball arcs of all time? I don't know. I think it's probably top 5, but top 3, I don't know. We'd have to wait until this gets animated. I'll say that, because this is only a manga arc, right? Things in the manga and the anime are different. We have to remember that. So everything that has happened in the Moro arc, some of that stuff can be changed around when it gets animated, and it could potentially put it as either the best Dragon Ball Super arc or a top 3 arc of all time. But right now, I feel like it's too early to say where it stands until we get it animated. Gotenks is the best fusion. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If Gotenks is your favorite fusion, I will not argue against that. But saying he is the best fusion, I would have to heavily disagree. Vegito and Gogeta are way better. They've had way better fights. They've had way better moments. Gotenks has had his one moment where he held off Super Buu. Also, him going Super Saiyan 3 was amazing. I think that was amazing. Him going Super Saiyan 3. Because it's something we didn't expect, right? Gotenks being able to transform. But yeah, no. I think Vegito and Gogeta are better. I don't think a lot of people would argue against that. If Gotenks is your favorite fusion, by all means. But saying he's the best fusion, yikes. Absolutely not. Any DBZ multiplayer game with online always has tryhards that find a way to ruin the game. Um, I think this is partially correct. I think this is partially correct. And it's funny because we were just talking about this game earlier, but I'm going to say Dragon Ball Legends. Dragon Ball Legends is the multiplayer game that has tryhards that find a way to ruin the game. The tryhards being not only the people that play the game, but the community itself, right? I feel like Dragon Ball Legends has molded people's brains into thinking that every game has to be online PvP, competitive, this, and that. And that's just not the case, right? Now, obviously, you're going to get your tryhards in every game. That's just a standard, right? Every single multiplayer game, whether it's an anime game, a sports game, chess, even chess, online chess, you're going to get your tryhards, right? And that's just a standard. But if we want to talk about any DBZ multiplayer game, I mean, Xenoverse, right? There's going to be tryhards on Xenoverse, but it's not going to ruin the game, right? Xenoverse has had its longevity. We've seen how good the game has been throughout the years. I don't think the tryhards online ruin that game. Xenoverse is not really a competitive game. It's kind of just, you hop on with your friends, you fight 1v1, you fight, Xenoverse has such a massive roster that, being a tryhard in that game is kind of hard because, if I'm playing against somebody that's using MUI Goku and I'm using freaking Omega Shinron, you kind of expect to lose, right? Xenoverse has such a massive roster that calling somebody a tryhard is a little difficult. They have to stand out in a certain way. Legends, you can point out if somebody is a tryhard, if somebody is just 14 starring every unit, godly equips. Some people are just naturally good at the game, but some people take that game way too seriously. Fighters has its multiplayer online. Fighters is a game where you should expect tryhards. And the reason I say that is because Fighters has had tournaments, like actual competitive tournaments. And there's going to be tryhards in Fighters. No doubt. That's a given. So I don't think any Dragon Ball Z multiplayer game, but some of them do have tryhards. And in terms of ruining the game, I think Legends has the highest potential of that. And that's just because the game revolves around PvP. But yeah, that's that. John Little says Broly will be the next strongest Saiyan. Broly will be the next strongest Saiyan. I think I would disagree. The only reason I would disagree with Broly being the next strongest Saiyan is because I think with him not being able, number one, he can barely control his power. I know he's currently kind of training right now to learn that, but Broly is not really able to control his power to a level where I'd say he could be the strongest Saiyan. Like, he could be the quote-unquote strongest Saiyan, but he'd still get beat in a fight by somebody like Goku and Vegeta, right? If it really came down to it, I feel like Goku and Vegeta would still be the strongest Saiyans, but Broly would be that guy that's like, don't underestimate him. If we really needed him to do something, if he really needed him to break his limits, he could, right? And I don't think anybody would disagree. Broly could break his limit at any time. He probably has no limit. The limit, the him having no limit is him being able to break his no limit, right? Where is his next goal? Where can he get? How high can he get? It's a matter of how high can he get. It's not, he's never gonna stop, right? But I feel like Goku and Vegeta would be able to match that regardless of what it is. So I think Him being the next strongest Saiyan, it's a possibility, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Aaron's girlfriend says Jiren is fodder now, bro. What is up with the Jiren hate? Jiren is not fodder, man. Some people really think that Jiren is just sitting on his ass, doing nothing. You think that after the L that he took in the Tournament of Power, you think Jiren is just sitting, doing nothing. Let's just theoretically think of Granola Arc Jiren. If Jiren were to show up in the Granola Arc after all the years after the Tournament of Power, you think he's gonna be at the same power level that he was in the Tournament of Power? Let's be real. He's not. If Jiren were to pop up right now, he probably would be able to beat Goku or compete with Goku. I don't think Jiren is fodder. Now, if you're talking about Tournament of Power Jiren to where we're at right now, then I could give you that, right? He's probably not fodder, but he's probably not as strong as you would think. But if we're taking Jiren and we're taking his progress all the way up to where the manga has stopped right now, he is not fodder. I think he's been training. He's been freaking, what's the word? He's been, aside from training, he's been meditating. That's what I was looking for. He's been meditating. He's been doing his things to get him stronger. So I don't think Jiren is fodder. There's 367 these. We're 36 minutes in this video, around almost 40 minutes. We'll probably do these last couple, and then we'll probably make a part 2 in this. Anyways, Vil says Goku isn't as strong as we think he is, and he is actually significantly weaker than a lot of anime characters. Significantly weaker. Okay. When you say significantly weaker, I really kind of disagree with this, only because there's a lot of anime characters that just have hacks, right? In terms of who can beat Goku, I really think it comes down to hacks and not just skills and abilities, right? If you're gonna put Goku up against like Sailor Moon, right? She is just a hacks type of character, right? It's not like there's a lot of people in anime that can just snap Goku out of existence, or just say take away his powers, or take away his abilities, or make it to where he can't do anything. And if we think, you know, Goku isn't as strong as we think he is, no, I think he is as strong as we think he is. It's just the people that can beat him are not only stronger than him, but they're not strong. They're stronger than him in the aspect of they have the hacks to beat him, right? Like I said, there's people that can just make it to where he doesn't exist anymore. There's people that can just simply one-shot him because they have some broken ability in their anime that gives them the ability to do that. Now, does that make him significantly weaker? I mean, in an aspect, yes. But I feel like giving him the significantly weaker tag is kind of unfair when he can, people can just simply one-shot him out of the aspect of plot, or the aspect of what's the word? Like, for example, Saitama, right? There's people that think that Saitama could beat Goku, right? Saitama is a gag character. Let's just say Saitama was able to beat Goku, right? People would say, oh, he's significantly weaker than Saitama, which is not really the case. It's just the fact that Saitama is somebody who would just simply be able to just one-shot Goku just because he could. Just because he's a gag character, just because he has the hacks to do it, he could just one-shot him. I feel like saying he's weaker is not fair. Now, is it true? I mean, if you can one-shot somebody, they are kind of weaker, but it's not fair. Right? Now, there is a lot of anime characters that could probably beat him. I'm not gonna disagree with that, but significantly weaker is a little unfair. Mick says it has no real plot. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I don't really have much to say about this. If you watch Dragon Ball, you know. But saying it has no real plot, I disagree. Z Broly is better than Super Broly. This comes down to preference, I think. For me, I would say Super Broly is better. Simply because if you watch the Z Broly movie, the whole reason, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you know this. You know this about Broly. You've been knowing this. The reason why Broly and Goku are even fighting in the first place is because he was crying as a baby. In the same pod cell, whatever they were, Goku was right next to Broly. He was crying too much, and it pissed Broly off. And now Broly says Kakarot over and over again, and he wants to fight Goku. I think that is a terrible writing. Now, Broly as a character, he's cool, right? I'm not going to deny Broly was a cool character. It's just the reason that he existed, the reason he got to the level he was in that movie was because of Goku crying. Super Broly is different, right? I think Super Broly is a more well written character. Like, in terms of, you know, they keep getting stronger, they keep having, you know, rage fits. That's always been a thing with Broly. But I feel like, you know, Super Broly, he had more of a balance between his personality, right? He wasn't just this super demonized monster who was just terrorizing shit on purpose, right? He was, you know, somebody he couldn't control his power. He really didn't have any friends. He couldn't meet anybody, right? His dad was damn near torturing him. Him meeting Goku and Vegeta, he was just, you know, it's like one of those stories where it's like the bad guy turns into the good guy. And I like that more than just being some demonized guy who has really no intention behind what he's doing. He's just doing what he's doing because he wants to do it. Super Broly is not doing that, right? He's being controlled. He's, you know, he's able. It's Super Broly's more well written because he has the chance to come to his senses and be a more well written character. Z Broly is not the case. He's just doing shit because he wants to. Alright, I'll do 2 more, and then if I decide to do a part 2, which you probably will, then we'll start with Sonic the Hedgehog. Tony says GT was more appealing in transforms than the Super anime. I assume you mean transformations. More appealing. So if you say more appealing, you're saying that Super Saiyan 4 was a better transformation in terms of looks and how the transformation actually is than Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. If you want to throw Ultra Instinct in there, you can. Ultra Ego. I think that this is partly true. I think Super Saiyan 4 has more appeal to its transformations than probably like Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan God, I can't give it to you. But Super Saiyan Blue, maybe. Because, you know, with GT you have the Grade 8 transformation, right? That goes into Super Saiyan 4. I think that's a really good transformation, right? It goes back to the Saiyan roots. I like it a lot. I think it is better than Super Saiyan Blue. I'm not a big fan of Super Saiyan Blue. I think Super Saiyan God should have just been Super Saiyan God instead of Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. But yeah, I think I agree with this, honestly. All right, last hot take for part one. I'm Spider-Man says Goku over Saitama in terms of everything except maybe IQ. Debate me if you want. You don't have to give feeds to give. Don't reply. Again, I think this just comes down to preference. Like I said, Saitama's a gag character, so if Saitama won a fight between him and Goku, I really wouldn't be surprised. Now, would I think Goku would beat Saitama? Absolutely, I agree. But again, if Saitama were to beat Goku in a fight, you cannot be surprised, given the fact that he is a gag character. So he is written to win in almost every aspect of what he does. That's how that works. So yeah, I like Goku or Saitama, but this could go either way. But yeah, that's what I think about that. Anyways, 45 minutes in it. 45 minutes into this video, I think I'm gonna stop right there. This is part one of this hot take thread. I think, let's see how many left. We started Sonic the Hedgehog. We have a couple more. Oh Lord. Okay. All right. So we will make a part two to this. I'm gonna get part one uploaded. I'll record part two, and then yeah, we'll get that going. But anyways, make sure you guys follow me on TikTok, Freshman's Q. Subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. I will see you guys in part two.